So every time I was trying to play it, it was either the CD wasn't working or something.
Yay, done.
I know, I'm finally got to play it. There's a great story behind it, but I'm not going to get into it just today. I'll get into it another day. So we were talking sleep deprivation and sleep disorders. Now, you've told us that you guys can help out in determining whether there's a mineral deficiency, which is usually the case.
Yes.
If it's not a mineral deficiency, what else could it be?
So it could be things like the thyroid, for example. So thyroid, adrenals, that whole combination, because if the adrenals are overworking, sometimes the thyroid's a little underactive. So thyroid is very much linked in. Of course, generally people think of the thyroid as being when you're sleeping all day and you can't get out of bed if you're hypothyroid. But there's also the anxiety that comes with the thyroid disorders as well.
The thyroid's got an awful lot to explain, I tell you. Everything you go to the doctor, I mean, they'll say, we'll check your thyroid.
Yes.
We'll check your thyroid. Well, that thyroid needs to settle down.
Yeah, it does. And even one of my ladies yesterday, hi if you're there, she came from Bay FM, she was telling me, she showed me her blood test and her thyroid, even though medically it's perfectly within normal, it's actually creeping up. So when we looked at it over the last 18 months, it's sort of gone up a couple of points, per 3 months. So something's going wrong with it, and she's had a very, very stressful year. So when you sort of think about that, that will still be years before it's out of range. And on average, it's 7 or 8 years between when people think they've got a thyroid issue and when it's actually out of range. So it takes a long time to get bad enough to medicate, which is, it's a good thing for us because you don't want to be on medication until you need to be. So it's one of those things that if you do see a naturopath who can sort of go, okay, thyroid, these are the herbs, nutrients that support the thyroid functioning, and then sort of start working on that in the background because there's lots that can be done. So herbs are really interesting too because they're now spending a lot more money on how herbs interact with medications, how herbs interact with minerals. There's a lot of cross-nutrient drug herb studies going on around the world at the moment because in the past people would be on, say, SSRIs for stress, so things that are...
And an SSRI would be?
Serotonin reuptake inhibitor. Reuptake inhibitor.
Reuptake inhibitor, that's correct. Yeah.
So
in case if anyone was going, what's an SSRI?
SSRI.
Yeah.
So if someone's on that, in the past it was always absolutely do not take anything else that adjusts serotonin levels. But some of the studies, if it's done really carefully and under supervision, the studies are showing that if you slowly add in things like 5-HTP or St John's wort, it can actually support the benefit of the SSRI, so people get more benefit faster.
Do you get many people that come and visit you and say, look, I haven't been sleeping for many, many months. I've tried everything and just worked too hard.
Yes.
Like they come in thinking it's a quick, easy... Because, we know it's not. We're not.
Yes.
You can't fix these that quickly. It's a bit of a long process.
Yes, and it's really about teaching them why all the different things are important, why you shouldn't go to bed with your devices. It seems like an easy... phones and iPads.
I totally agree because I am the worst. I am on social media all the time. I'm constantly researching, getting, information, things that I can use here for work, but also for other reasons. And the phone just being next to my bed, I wouldn't switch off. Yeah. But now I put it out in the kitchen and I switch off quite quickly. It's just not having it there. Yeah. Because when you fall asleep, and you kind of hear things just in the distance. So you associate that with, was that my phone? Was that an email? It can wait. Yeah, that's right. Everything can wait. And this is one of the things with teenagers these days is that most of them go to bed with their phones in their rooms, and then what are teenagers going to do? They're going to start texting and contacting their friends overnight. Yeah. Because why wouldn't you if you've got the devices? I would spend every moment when I was 15 on the phone to my friends. Mum, if I had a phone when I was 15, a mobile phone, we would have been a dangerous generation. We would have. Thank goodness the videoing wasn't around then. We were terrible. We weren't terrible. But, it is something that everybody goes through at some stage. Yeah. I mean, it might be very fleeting. Like, say, you might have a couple of days where you haven't slept well because, grandma's been ill. Or because, exactly. You've just had a baby and you're not sleeping well. Things like that. But at some stage you may experience a sleeping disorder, and it's very, very important to recognise and jump onto it before it gets out of hand. Yes, and if it is work isn't going to go away.
So it's about finding those solutions so that the work isn't such a stress for you.
Yeah.
So it's working out, okay, I'm paid for an 8-hour day. I'm not going to do 10 hours a day anymore. How many people do we know who do overtime all the time and never get paid for it?
Yeah.
And there's something in there about their self-worth or their self-esteem or their belief that it must be done. But quite often your boss isn't actually thanking you for those extra hours we're putting in.
It's great to have a good work ethic and dedication and be reliable. You know, we love to see that in anybody, but what good are you if you can't deliver?
Exactly.
You know, you could be the prime employee. You're never late. You come to work on time. You go. You know, you're absolutely brilliant. But when you burn out because you haven't been sleeping,
exactly, and you're no good to your kids, your hubby, your family, anyone.
And everyone's replaceable, which means if you keep taking time off work because you haven't slept, the boss is just going to go, look, I've got a business to run. I have to give it to Brian over in the corner. Yeah.
So people don't realise that when they're running on that adrenaline, then people can get away with it for weeks, months, years sometimes, but eventually the body's going to start.
And it comes back to a couple of weeks ago, you know how you said that you guys, when something happens to us, we tend to shock ourselves into it and we hold on to that stress.
Yes.
Again, same thing.
Yes.
You know, if something happens and you just, something you experience, it can start that sleep deprivation or you know, just irritated sleep.
Yeah.
And what's the word I'm looking for? The
interrupted sleep.
I need lunch. Interrupted sleep pattern.
Yeah.
So when you guys test them for minerals, what's the next step?
So then we sort of work out what type of minerals people need. We work out if it's a digestive issue. So with the oligo scan, for example, page 3 tells me about enzyme function and hormones in the body. So for example, I've got a lady whose mineral levels are very good, but her enzyme levels are incredibly low. So part of that is that she's been on medications long-term for specific health issues, and those medications can shut down the ability for her body to release hydrochloric acid from the gut. So therefore she's not breaking down the minerals enough to do the absorption properly. So it's always in the bloodstream because she's constantly taking supplements. But we need to get it into those deeper tissues. We need to get the gut working well. So with everyone there's a bit of a different reason for it. We would always do some sort of stress protocols, whether it's kinesiology or massage or acupuncture or guided meditations or something, and teach people how they can manage this at home. Because if they're not doing something at home, they're missing the boat. And there's so many good apps these days that can help to teach people to meditate. And I'm not talking about people just sitting there in the way, say 20, 30 years ago, where it was just sitting and trying to have your mind be clear. That doesn't work for most people. I think the thing about guided meditations is it keeps your brain active. So rather than trying to tell your brain not to do anything for 5, 10, 20 minutes, which, can just, it's the old don't think of monkeys.
For the people that, they've done nothing but they're, go. They get up in the morning, go, and when they go to bed at night, they're still going in the head. But you try and get someone to sit down for 5 minutes and do that meditation. That isn't something they're going to be able to do.
No, that's right. So we have to work out what neurotransmitters are out. Do they need something to increase the GABA, the anti-anxiety hormone in their brain? Do we need something to decrease all the excitatory hormones? Do we need something to increase the cortisol in the morning, if they're waking up exhausted, something to boost their morning energy so they've got better energy, sustained energy through the day? Do we need to look at their diet? Are they just eating sugar, so they've got no continuity or balance with their blood sugar levels through the day? So what are they doing, and how is that impacting on the blood sugar? Because blood sugar can really, like how often, out with friends and you have half a bottle of wine, that's a lot of sugar, and then you don't sleep well throughout the night.
Well, it's funny because back in the days, I should have probably thought about this a little bit better. The philosopher, I can't remember if it was Socrates, Plato or Aristotle, I think it might have been Aristotle, he said that the mind and the body were two completely different things.
Right.
Now, I agree. Okay, I think the mind and body are two completely different things because our body doesn't necessarily listen to our mind. And our mind does not necessarily control our body. So, we might be feeling okay in ourselves before we actually have any issues with sleep.
Right.
So we might feel okay, but then over a period of time it builds up. Like you said with these minerals, over a period of time the thyroid will start having issues.
That's right.
When you do start having problems, really jump on it. It doesn't mean a GP is necessarily the person to go to. But someone like New Leaf Natural Therapies who can look at you on a holistic level. you guys can provide good support.
That's right.
The only reason why I'm bringing that up is because a lot of people think that a GP is the solution.
Yes.
Write a script, send me off to have a chest X-ray for my,
asthma or whatever.
Pain in my shoulder. Once it's all ruled out, we said this last week, I think, newly natural therapists like yourself should be part of the GP management program.
Yes.
It should be, if it was me, if you were to come and see me in the clinic, I would definitely contact you and say, look, I would like to refer a patient onto you. We've done everything medically. You guys maybe need to support them also holistically.
Yes.
And see if we can, the more people that manage a condition, the better.
Absolutely.
And do you have many people that actually see you for sleep deprivation?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think, it was funny a few years ago, because every so often I pull up the top 10 supplements we're selling just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
And for a couple of years in a row, Carmex was the #1 supplement we were selling. Now, that is something that calms glutamate in the brain. It's an excitatory hormone. It has the calcium, magnesium, potassium in it. It's got activated B vitamins, which tone the nerves. It's got taurine, which supports liver and kidney detoxification. It's got glutamine, which helps the gut.
Yeah, heaps more to go. We'll be right back with more great music in just a sec.